right, y'all, so I've just got done working out. It's still kind of quiet in the house. I'm trying to be as quiet as possible with the exception of the blender. But I'm going to show you how to make my post-workout smoothie. Just one of them. This is one of my go-tos. I've got a little bit of water in here. I'm going to make my peach coconut protein smoothie. So like I said, I've got a little bit of water in there. I'm going to add a little bit of milk just to make it a little bit creamy. And I'm going to add some peaches. About a cup. I'm also going to add in some coconut chunks. Just a few. And to sweeten it up, I'm going to sweeten it up with this real cocoa cream of coconut. You can sweeten it up however much you want. I'm just going to do a little bit. Probably about a tablespoon. And I'm going to add in some yogurt. This is plain Greek yogurt. And I'm going to add probably about a quarter of a cup. And I'm going to add in some protein powder. You can add whatever is your favorite. I'm using the Quest Vanilla Milkshake. It's what I have on hand. So I'm going to add that in there. And then we are just going to blend this up until it is completely smooth, and I'll show you what it looks like when it gets done. Alright, y'all, here it is. This is so creamy and so thick. It is so good. Don't worry, I will drink all of this. Just going to put this lid on, put my straw in here. And that is my post-workout smoothie. It's so good. You can add whatever you want to this. You can add peanut butter to this. You can add some spinach or kale to this. It's so good. It just depends on what I'm doing for the day or how I'm feeling that day, if I want spinach or anything in here. But today, I'm just having it as is. So yeah, I think I will leave this. I will leave this typed out below for you guys so you guys can try it out. Today we are going to be making some soup. I'm going to be making some stuffed pepper soup, super simple. It is feeling like fall outside, nice and cool weather. So we're going to make some soup. I've got a pound of ground beef. To that we're going to add some onions and some bell peppers that I've got chopped up here. I'm going to season this up with a little bit of salt and pepper. Not much, just enough to season the meat and the onions and pepper. And we're going to break this all apart. We're going to let this cook down until the onions and peppers are tender and the meat is cooked through. Should take about 5 to 8 minutes. Alright, y'all, so this has been cooking for about 5 minutes, and we are going to go ahead and add in some tomatoes. So I've got a large tomato that's just been diced up. I'm just going to add that right in. Give that a little mix. And to that, I'm going to add in some oregano, basil, and some garlic powder, as well as a little bit more salt and pepper. I'm going to get this all mixed in. get those spices to bloom and release all of their flavor. Now this is a quick soup, super easy, on the table in about 30 minutes or so, and it's very filling and delicious. So that's done. I'm going to go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. We're going to mix this in and let this kind of melt down and toast up slightly. And it's going to get really deep flavor, tomato flavor in this. It's going to make it taste like it's been cooking all day. And I can smell those spices in that tomato paste. So I'm going to go ahead and add in some beef broth. So I've got that here. I'm just going to add that right in. Get this all mixed up. I think after dinner I'm going to make some hot chocolate. It's going to be later on in the afternoon, and just settle down and watch some scary movies. Around about this time during Halloween, I like to break out all of the nostalgic and classic Halloween style movies and everything, like Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin, Practical Magic, and then the scarier movies like Hellraiser or Halloween, or stuff like that. So let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite Halloween movie or movies? Alright, now that I've got that all mixed in, I'm going to add in some rice. I've just got some jasmine rice here that I've just got, I went ahead and rinsed it really well. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. It's about 3/4 of a cup. We're going to give that a mix, and we're going to bring this up to a boil, and then I'm going to cut the heat down to low. I'm going to cover this up with a lid, and we're going to let this cook for about 15 to 20 minutes until that rice is nice and tender. In the meantime, I'm going to clean up a bit, and then I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like when it gets all done. All right, you guys, this is done, and I went ahead and checked it for seasoning. I added a little bit more salt and pepper. But this is done. It's ready to go. I've already got some stuff over here setting out to top it with. But this smells so good. I'm going to let this sit here for a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and finish up my tea. And then dinner will be ready. And I'll show you my plate. Or in this case, my bowl of soup. Alright, y'all, here is this delicious bowl of stuffed pepper soup. It is so good. I topped mine with some sour cream, some cheddar cheese, banana peppers, and some jalapenos. But you can top this however you want. The sky's the limit to the toppings that you can add to this. But it is so good, super easy, and so quick. Your family is going to enjoy this one, especially on those cool fall afternoons. Good morning, you guys. Today I am feeling some pancakes, so we're going to make my buttermilk pancakes. These are up on my blog, so I will leave all of these links in the description box below for you guys. But we're going to make some buttermilk pancakes, but I'm going to switch up a few things. Instead of sugar, I'm going to add maple syrup. I'm going to add some pecans. And we're going to swap up our flours. So in here I've got 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of whole wheat flour, because I find that the whole wheat flour goes better with the pecans and the maple syrup. And I've also got about 1/4 teaspoon of salt in here. So we're just going to mix this up. Okay, and to this we're going to add some baking powder. These are going to make it light and fluffy. So we're going to add about 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And we're also going to add in some baking soda, and it's going to react with the buttermilk and make these extra light and fluffy. So we're just going to set those to the side and mix this up really, really well. Okay, now to this I'm going to add 1 egg. I'm going to add in just a couple of tablespoons of maple syrup, not quite a quarter of a cup, but we're going to add that right in there. If you want them more sweet, you can add more, or you can add less. And I'm also going to add in some melted butter. And we're going to add in some buttermilk. Now you can add as much or as little as buttermilk as you want, depending on how thick or thin you want your batter. So I'm going to start out with about a cup, and we'll kind of go from there. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon of vanilla right in there. All right, into this batter, I'm going to add in some pecans. I've got some pecans here. I just buy a big old pack and then stick them in the freezer. And they stay there for a while. And they stay fresh. So I am just going to add probably about a half of a cup. But you can definitely add more if you want. And we're going to mix this together. And we're going to let this sit while our pan comes up to heat. We're going to melt a little bit of butter in there. So we've got that in there. Let's move on over to the stove and get these cooking. All right, y'all, so I've got my pan. I've got it over medium-low heat. I'm going to add just a little bit of butter to cook these pancakes in, and we're going to get this melting. All right, get my little setup going here. So I've got my pancake batter. I've got some butter over here. And we're just going to start cooking these. You can make these as big or as little as you want. I'm just going to use a little scoop here and scoop some of this batter out right into the pan. And we're going to let these cook a couple of minutes on one side. Then we'll flip them over, let them cook a few more minutes on the other side. And we'll put them on a plate until all of these are cooked. And then I'll bring you back and we'll make a plate. Y'all, there is just something about pancakes that just warms you up, especially on a Saturday or Sunday morning. Now, when I do pancakes, I do half pancakes and half waffles because my daughter loves waffles and these makes really good waffles. But you can top these however you want. Now, I will add butter and I will either do maple syrup, I will do honey, sorghum, or golden syrup on top. It's just so delicious, but you can top it however you want, and some fruit on the side. So, so delicious. All right, y'all, it is time for dinner, so I'm going to go ahead and start that. I'm making an easy chicken stuffing casserole, and I'm going to make some green beans and hominy to go with it later when this gets almost done in the oven. So I went ahead and sprayed my casserole dish here with a little bit of oil spray, and I chopped up some chicken just into small dices. And I am going to add in 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. This is another easy and delicious meal. Comes together in no time. All right, now that I've got that cream of chicken soup in there, I'm going to add in 1/3 cup of sour cream. And I'm going to season this up with a little bit of salt and pepper, season to taste, but don't add too much salt because the cream of soups always have a lot of salt, so be careful with your salt. All right, so I'm going to just mix this up until everything is well combined, and then we will set this to the side. All right, that is nice and well combined. So I'm just going to smooth this out a little bit. Okay. I'm going to move this over. And I've got a packet of stuffing mix here. You can use any brand that you like. This is just the stovetop chicken stuffing mix. So I'm going to add that into my bowl. And I've got some chicken broth here. I'm going to give this a little stir, and we're going to mix this together. All right, that looks good. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees, and I'm just going to bring this back over, and we're just going to put this all over the top of this chicken, as even as I can get it. Y'all, I always have to have stuffing mix on hand because my husband loves it. So I make it quite often as a side dish, just for whatever meal we're having. It's a super simple side dish that you can throw together in just a few minutes. But today we're going to use it in a casserole. All right, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to cover this with foil. And I'm going to put this in a 350 degree oven, covered with foil, for about 30 minutes. I'm going to take the foil off, and then I'm going to cook it for another 15 to 20 minutes, just until the chicken is completely cooked through. Depending on your oven, it may take a little bit longer. So I will show you what it looks like when it gets done.
Y'all, if you are in the mood for an early Thanksgiving dinner, make this. Now, you don't have to make the green beans and the hominy. You can make whatever you want to go with it. It'd be delicious. But this was so good. The next day, I went in for leftovers, and I remembered I had a can of cranberry sauce, and it just made my day. But I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.